Test 1 2 3. I think I record. Yes. Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. I tried to build some kind of procedural street shader, but it's hard. Okay. So yeah, another procedural stuff, guys. Basically, the idea of this shader is like I create some kind of road right here. If you're gonna copy my values, you're gonna have this kind of road and those kind of pop-up buildings, if that makes sense, and you have control the textures of the buildings and the textures of the ground, but not the texture of the street, whatever. This is some cool stuff. Okay, build this shader, you're gonna see the result. Maybe I'm gonna upload some photo if I'm gonna have time to render this shit, because I record this very fast. So I just subdivide plane. Yes, add plane, subdivide plane by 100 times, go to the cycles, of course, change this, turn down the values, go to the shader editor and click new material to this fucking plane, goes to the settings and displays and only, or maybe displays only. Now you can search those nodes by Shift A. Basically, I'm gonna show you the tree. Like I said, it's very cool, and I'm gonna talk a little bit what you can do more with this, okay, and what kind of node doing things, if that makes sense. So basically, I just add textures coordinate right here. I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna make it bigger. So textures coordinate goes to mapping, yes, of course, from this first value, yes, boom. To have more control of the placement of this brick texture right here, of this fucking road, if that makes sense. So this is the road kind of brick texture value. As you can see, I have this kind of value of the mapping. You can copy those stuff. I just click rotation right here, 3 minus 3 6 0.2, and you can play around on the rotation, because basically this brick texture right here give this kind of one brick, boom, and another brick, and this creates this kind of road if that makes sense. Yes, so yeah, you can copy those values if you want to see the results that I have. So I add brick texture, of course, right here, and I have offset to 0, whatever, frequency 8, this kind of value, yes, and scale right here minus 1.7, this kind of value, this value, yes, 1 1 and 1.8, and you have basically this kind of, like I said, road kind of stuff. And yeah, so this is the setup for the road, but you don't have to add the mapping to this, but I add to have more control of the placement, yes, of the rotation and of the location of this stuff on those two bricks, yes, if that makes sense. Now this brick texture goes to, wait guys, because I don't see shit, it's late guys, I'm sorry, speed up this video, okay, you're gonna, don't wait for me. Now this brick texture goes to the mix RGB, to the second color, and this is some side note. If you don't want to use this to fucking this kind of street or whatever, sci-fi street or ancient street, whatever, you can add right here this noise texture to the factor, and this basically this give this kind of noisy on the road and noisy on the ground, if that makes sense, yes, kind of value. So this noise texture you can connect to factor. I don't connect this to have this very straight. So I have mix RGB, connect to the second color if you want to connect noise texture to the factor. And this brick texture, of course, this is from the previous tutorials. Go to this wait guys, math. So from the color goes to math and change this to multiply. I have value like 0.5, and this brick texture goes to vector math scale. Change this to scale, and basically brick texture from color goes to the scale, and this vector math, this multiply goes to the factor. Yes, vector right here, and the scale vector math right here. Yes, this goes to the mix RGB, okay, to the second color, and this mix RGB goes basically to the color ramp right here, and I have something like this kind of value. What this do, basically this color ramp separates the ground for the buildings. Yes, this setup from color ramp. As you can see, I have very like black right here and the white dot right here. Yes, so bring this very close, and you can connect another color ramp to the factor right here. Okay, so you can see what nodes do by control shift and left click on the node. So you can connect color ramp another, just bring the blackness right here on the middle and right here to the factor. You can connect this, and this color ramp goes of course to the factor of the mix shader. Okay, so we separating the ground and the buildings with this color ramp setup and with this multiply and vector. Yes, the scale. And of course mix shader goes, you can add principal BSDF or whatever shader you want. Yes, right here and right here, and you can add whatever textures you want on the ground and on this pop-up stuff right here. Yes, so this goes to this mix shader and this goes to the surface right here to the output, and another setup. Yes, so this is the just the ground. Yes, if that makes sense. But this pop-up stuff, I'm gonna zoom in. Wait guys, because my mouse is broken like my life. I have textures coordinate, of course, connect to the mapping to have more control of this fucking brick texture. And this goes right here. Yes, texture coordinate mapping from the first one. This goes to the vector right here, and I'm gonna show you the values what I have. I'm not changing anything to the mapping, maybe the scale a little bit. Yes, right here 0.931 whatever, and this brick texture I have scale 0.6 121003035, and this is the pop-up stuff basically. And I'm connecting Vanoi texture to this brick texture to those pop-up stuff. Basically this give me another kind of shape of the roofs, if that makes sense, of those pop-up stuff, and not connectly the roofs. Yes, you can use this to create some kind of rocky desert environment or whatever. It looks cool, this kind of shape. Yes, sci-fi. So Vanoi texture, go to the first color right here from the color and change this to 4D, guys. I have value like 8 right here. I have the parameter. I can change the shape of this kind of above stuff. Yes, the roofs, if that makes sense, of those pop-up stuff right here. Scale 6 1 right here, color to the first color on this brick texture, and this brick texture, guys, goes, where is goes basically to this first mix RGB. Yes, that we connect in this color ramp, two color ramps, to the first color. Yes, and this goes to another mix shader right here on the second color. Yes, so I'm just connecting, like you can see, this mix color to another mix color, and this brick texture to this second mix color. I hope you get it, because I'm adding this mix color. Why? Because I can add this noise texture to the factor. Yes, to have this kind of noisy on the ground. Yes, so I can connect this to the factor, and I'm connecting this mix RGB to second mix RGB, and this brick texture goes to the first color, and this mix RGB, this ground setup, goes to the second color, and this goes to the displacement guys, this goes to the displacement, and displacement goes to the displacement, and that's it. This is the setup. I'm gonna maybe repeat faster this setup to have the idea, and you can control this on the mapping, of course. This is the pop-up stuff setup, this Vanoy texture and brick texture. You can scale and on this direction, and you can basically control right here the roofs, yes, the shape of the roofs of the Vanoy texture, and right here on the scale, and right here on this setup you basically control the size of this direction of those pop-up stuff, so you can create some kind of wall from this fucking brick texture. I hope you get it right here on this parameter, and this parameter basically controls this kind of direction, yes, up direction, the scale, if that makes sense. Roof height, brick, whatever it's called. Just play around a little bit with the stuff, but copy those values. You're gonna have my results, guys. So this is the setup for the fucking pop-up stuff. Textures coordinate mapping. Mapping goes to the vector of the brick texture, and Vanoy textures goes to the first color to have control on the roofs. And this pop-up stuff goes to the mix RGB right here. Mix RGB goes to the displacement. Displacement goes to this displacement right here. And this brick texture goes to another mix RGB. This pop-up stuff goes to another mix RGB. Okay, to the color, to the first color. This is the setup for the fucking pop-up stuff, and this is the setup for the ground. Once again, the roof, yes, kind of the road, the road kind of stuff. Textures coordinate mapping. Mapping goes to the brick texture. Copy those values away, guys. Just stop the video and just copy this stuff. Boom, right here. This is the setup for the ground, and I have this kind of street, if that makes sense, and you can play around of the location, rotation, and right here on the scale too, but just copy those values, it's cool. And this goes to the mix RGB, okay, this ground, and you can add noise texture to the factor to have noisy ground. And this goes to, wait guys, fuck, once again, I repeat 10 times in this. From the color goes to the multiply right here, mat multiply. I have value 0.5, and right here scale, vector mat scale. Okay, this goes to the scale, and this multiply goes to the first vector on this vector mat, yes, on the scale. And this goes to another mix RGB that we connect in this ground setup from the brick texture right here. This go to this color, and this setup, this vector mat scale goes to the second color. Color ramp goes to the factor on this mix RGB, bring the blackness on the right here middle, and another mix color ramp, turn this stuff. Control shift left click, see what it's doing, this color ramp. Just bring this blackness right here, and you controlling the texturing of those fucking stuff, yes, on the ground, on the pop-up stuff. This goes to the factor on this mix shader, factor mix shader, and you can add whatever shaders you want on the ground and on the fucking pop-up stuff. This goes to the surface right here, yes. I hope you get it, the idea, the setup. This is not that complicated, guys, but maybe you are a beginner. Just follow those steps, search those notes and follow those steps. It's not that complicated. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I can't show you the results because my PC is shit like my life. Thank you for watching guys, see you on the next video.